All right, Rob, we're gonna talk about Qi2. We've talked about this before, but the momentum is really picking up. So just to highlight that, I'm gonna start with a few facts that come from the Wireless Power Consortium. The pace of Qi2 adoption has been unprecedented. The news that iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 handsets will be upgraded to include Qi2 with the release of iOS 17.2 means that nearly 800 million devices will be Qi version 2.0 certified within a few short weeks of the launch of Qi version 2. There's going to be over 1 billion devices this year with Qi2 technology in them. This is incredible for a technology that was announced just 1 year ago at CES. So tell me and tell everyone that's listening right now, what are you seeing actually on the ground? When you were at CES this year, what did you see with Qi2?
It was a very common theme.
Okay.
You know, being wireless power experts, people walking the show, and we saw it ourselves. Qi2 was prominently displayed in a lot of the consumer mobile phone accessory groups around the standard and promoting it, and where their whole product lineups are being announced as we speak and during CES was really exciting.
Give me an idea of what you mean by accessories. Phone sleeves, charging banks,
Sure.
All of the above, other things?
All of the above. So you're seeing in battery packs, accessory battery packs, 2-in-1 chargers, meaning like charge 2 phones at once, or 3-in-1 chargers where you have 2 phone chargers and a spot for your watch, for your Apple Watch, or for smaller wirelessly charged things, right? So you're seeing it all across the board from a standards point of view, and really great momentum for the Qi2 standard.
So it sounds safely, when you're in Vegas at CES, the over is over 1 billion devices. You feel like there's a great chance that this year there'll be over 1 billion devices with Qi2. Talk to me about what that means for companies that are on the other side of the equation, meaning the transmitter side of the equation. So every device that you talked about was a receiver. It's something that receives power to charge a battery for the most part. What does this mean on the transmitter side? Like, who's concerned about this, and what are they doing to get ready for this onslaught of their users having all these Qi2 devices?
Sure. So in general, in the past, you'd have Qi, which everyone kind of knew what it was. But it was very confusing. You had Apple Fast Charge, you had the MagSafe charging, which Qi2 looks and smells like, and it was confusing. The great news is that from a transmitter point of view, from an infrastructure point of view, you're going to have intermatability and compatibility, backwards and forwards. And the Qi2 standard is bringing alignment and a good user experience, but also allows higher power because of that alignment. You have more, higher efficiency.
How much power are we talking about?
Right now, the Qi2 standard is at 15 watts, and which is great for initial burst of power to get your battery from that 0 to 20% very quickly.
So, we are Wireless Power Consortium members, and we have been for a really long time. And so we're cheering for the overall adoption of the spec and technology. So we don't like to play favorites, but there's a Qi2 Max product out there by Amphenol that I think we have a specific fondness for. Why do we think Qi2 Max is the creme de la creme when it comes to Qi2 products?
Right. So the Qi2 Max module, without doubt, is the top performing Qi2 transmitter, so a charger module that could be adopted to a lot of different products.
So performance can be kind of a loose term. So why does it perform better? Or what is better?
So the standard is great because we have the interoperability and compatibility across, but there are better chargers, there are better designs, and the Qi2 Max module is better in my viewpoint, and we have empirical data that backs it, because of the efficiency, the repeatability in manufacturing. So unit 1 to unit 1 billion will have guaranteed performance.
Well, Amphenol's known, multi-billion dollar manufacturer. That's one of the top 3 connector manufacturers in the world for the last few decades. They're really known for quality, right? So they're the ones making it. The first one's going to be the same as the millionth one.
Right.
You said that the heat is lower, the efficiency is higher.
But here's a really important point. So what people don't realize is that charger that's plugged into your wall, that's sitting on your desk. And even if it is just a wall adapter, most times they're consuming power.
Okay.
Right. So that Qi2 charger or that Qi1 charger is consuming power even when you're not charging your phone.
Yeah, this is like vampire power.
Right,
Yep.
right. And we call that like idle power.
Okay.
Is the term that
Okay.
we use in the industry. That charger consumes the least amount of energy when it's not in use.
Okay.
Which is super critical, I think, to this adoption. When you talk about 1 billion phones out there,
Right, it all
that adds
matters.
up. Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
So you get
that's
the
why I'm really
quality-
excited about Qi2 Max is because of idle power and efficiency and form factor. And
Qi2 is a game changer for consumers, for mobile phones, for other devices that are coming to the space. So I'm glad to see the buzz happening at CES, and I appreciate your updates.
super exciting in wireless power land. Yep. Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you.